The Boston Celtics were brimming with confidence after capturing the first 2 games of the NBA Finals. Their poise and savvy seemed to overwhelm their young opponents from Houston. For the Rockets, it was a painful experience. Their character was questioned. And when this series shifted to Houston, the Rockets had something to prove. The Rockets' performance in Game 3 clearly illustrated that this team's character was intact. They played like a team with a chip on its shoulder, displaying a combative nature that had been lacking so far in the series. The Rockets went after every ball, and the Celtics had to brace themselves. Ralph Sampson out-battled and outworked the big men in green. Now the Celtics, who for 2 games had provided all the answers, were in the position of asking the question, because the Houston Rockets had proven they were alive and well. The heroes of this series so far have come in all sizes. And tonight, Rocket fans of all sizes will be cheering their heroes on in the Summit. It's Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Houston, Texas, a boom town of the 70s. At one time, it surpassed Philadelphia as the nation's 4th largest. But now people are leaving because the boom is more bust. A year ago, there were 640 rigs pumping oil in this state. That's down to 219. The price of crude, $14 a barrel. Unemployment, a way of life for the men who toiled in those fields. It now stands at 9% in this city. And the real estate industry is suffering too. 25% of all the available offices are vacant tonight. This was a city badly in need of a morale boost, and a pro basketball team provided it. The Houston Rockets came alive and swept away the Los Angeles Lakers in 5 games, and now the rallying cry in this city is rock those Celtics. And inside this arena, the Houston Rockets will attempt to do that for the 2nd straight time. How do you get to a game at the Summit? Well, you take a Texas-style limo and you pull up, and if you're lucky enough to have one of the few tickets available, you come on inside, because it's the 1986 NBA Finals, the Houston Rockets and the Boston Celtics. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. You know, the mood changes in basketball have always fascinated me. After 2 games in the Boston Garden, everyone says the Boston Celtics are the greatest team ever. We come down here and play 1 game, Celtics blow it, and everyone says, what's wrong? What happened to that team? Well, the truth is that every basketball team that ever played this sport always has 2 personalities, one on the road and one at home. You all know the Boston Celtics have not lost in the Boston Garden since last December. Let me give you a statistic about these Rockets. With Hakeem, Olajuwon, and Ralph Sampson both healthy and in the lineup, the Rockets in this arena are 44-3. They're capable of winning any game they play here, and that includes tonight. For more, let's go down now to Dick Stockton and Tommy Heinsohn. Dick?
Thank you very much, Brandon. Those are impressive numbers indeed. But something unusual did happen here Sunday. The Celtics lost the lead and the game in the final stages. That occurred about 4 times during the regular season, and when it did, the Celtics responded with fierce and determined performances. However, the Rockets, in winning on Game 3, did not really play their best. We haven't seen that yet. So the question here tonight is this. Was the Rockets' dramatic victory on Sunday a mere mirage en route to a Celtics title march, or did Houston finally find the combination now ready to make the big challenge? Tommy Heinsohn is my partner. What are the 2 teams thinking right now, Tom?
Well, Dick, I think the Rockets thought they could beat the Celtics. Now they believe they can beat the Celtics, and it's a world of difference. They know if they can play good team defense and really start to run, that they can cause a lot of trouble for Boston. The Celtics let the genie out of the bottle. They're going to try and catch him, put him back in, and put the cork in. They have to do that by reestablishing a slower tempo, the half-court style of offense.
Tommy, other than the big stars in this series and in this game, which 2 players should we watch early on here?
I think Robert Reed is a real indicator of how well the Rockets may get off. He, in the Game 3 here, pushed the ball up hard and looked for his shot to diversify their offense. It was very effective. Robert Parish, for the Celtics, who kind of stumbled around in the first quarter in Game 3, will be looking to really post up Hakeem Olajuwon more and closer to the basket to try and get him in foul trouble.
You know, Larry Bird said that the Rockets were lucky to win Sunday's Game 3, and he says if the Celtics win tonight, he says there's no way the Celtics will not win the World Championship. And I guess, Brent, everyone always pays attention to what Larry Bird says and does.
They certainly do, Dick. He, again, was one of the earliest players out on the floor. No one works harder at improving his game than that phenom known as Larry Bird. He was out early today, and at one point he was able to make 13 consecutive shots warming up, as the local news shows ground out in the background with the bright lights burning. And of course, that's the spotlight that Larry Bird always enjoys. He steps into this game convinced that the Celtics are going to win tonight and then close it out on Thursday night. We'll have to see. You know, America's team is known as the Dallas Cowboys, but America's basketball team is clearly the Boston Celtics, and that's why they are favored by as many as 4 points in some quarters. Coming up, it's the Celtics and the Rockets.
A capacity crowd of 16,016 cheering for the red-clad Houston Rockets. And for the Boston Celtics, they'll start the same 5 of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Robert Parish up front. They're all very good. And can they pass? Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge are the guards, and Casey Jones, their quiet but forceful leader. For the Houston Rockets, Ralph Sampson, what a game he had. And Rodney McRae, team with Hakeem Olajuwon. And in the backcourt, Robert Reed, a K-man, according to Tommy Heinsohn and Lewis Lloyd. And Bill Fitch, who of course formerly coached the Celtics to a title. A veteran and experienced trio of officials, Earl Strom and Darryl Garretson, will work the game, and Jake O'Donnell will be the alternate. And so, Tommy Heinsohn, the stage is set. The Houston Rockets, undefeated in the playoffs, 8-0 at home here at the Summit, and the Boston Celtics, who had the best road record in the regular season. This will either mean a series tie of 2-2 or a commanding 3-1 lead for the Celtics.
I think the Rockets found out that if they play good team defense against the inside game of the Celtics, particularly on bringing the ball up the court and do it early, they can do a job against the Celtics big guys, particularly Bird.
And of course, people like Ralph Sampson and Olajuwon always have to worry about foul trouble. Dennis Johnson has taken advantage to get a lot of rebounds in this series. Robert Parish trying to get on track, as Tommy said, and there's always Larry Bird to contend with.
Larry Bird, Larry Bird, Larry Bird.
He's had a triple-double series. He's averaged double figures in points, rebounds, and assists in the 3 games. Underway, the Celtics in the traditional green, the Rockets in white, and we will have another jump ball. Here's Earl Strom. Larry Bird, how grooved is he before a game like this?
I'll tell you, he is going to be pumped, and his adrenaline may help those big guys get back quicker on defense in this game than they did in the 3rd game.
He'll whip you verbally if you're not doing the job, won't he?
He sure will.
But the Rockets have the ball. Lloyd, Sampson, Reed hits. Reed hit key jumpers early in the game to help the Rockets.
When he hits from the outside, that is going to destroy the confidence of Danny Ainge to go down and double the low post.
And the Celtics were unable to use that stratagem in game number 3. Reed starts out on Larry Bird, and his fall away is good. Larry Bird told me yesterday McRae is still a tougher defensive player for me.
I think he can take Reed into the low post easier and deeper than he could McRae.
Ainge is on Reed. They go into Olajuwon, double teamed, and Hakeem misses. There's Sampson on the other side. And they surrounded him in a hurry.
He was very aggressive as a weak side rebounder in the 3rd game.
And there's a Ralph Sampson off-balance shot reminiscent of the one that beat the Lakers. Danny Ainge, and now Reed picking him up. Now McRae is guarding Bird. Bird is playing way out away from the basket. And we'll have a Houston foul. What's the idea of that?
They're trying to get Sampson in foul trouble, and they'll probably go to Parish too a little bit to try and get 1 or 2 quick ones on Olajuwon. Sampson was a power in game 3, and they would probably like to work him. He gives up the deeper low post position.
Foul is on Reed, and here's Kevin McHale. Celtics have been shooting 82% from the line, much better than the Rockets, who have been way off, and McHale has been 73%. 1 out of 2. But on the last time the Celtics had the ball, Bird was almost at midcourt, letting the other 4 get in there. Maybe we'll see it again. 4-3 Houston. Just about a minute and a half gone by. McRae. Inside McRae.
A great indicator for Bill Fitch if Rodney McRae can get going early too.
A block shot by Olajuwon. He blocked McHale, and not many people can do that. And a sloppy pass, and Ainge ahead of the field. McCray blocks his shot. So this crowd is turned on by 2 blocked shots early on by Olajuwon and Rodney McCray. Great defensive play by Houston.
Olajuwon has been kind of glued to Parish. He's provided the first block, but there was McCray hustling, and it looked like a sure breakaway by Ainge.
And a foul is called. Let's see the replay first.
And McCray has great leaping ability and fantastic speed, so you've got to angle him off.
Lloyd commits the foul. Dennis Johnson has the ball knocked away by Hakeem. Lewis Lloyd in the open court. 3-on-2 for Houston. And the pass by McCray over the head of Olajuwon. He rarely makes a mistake like that. Celtics coming back. Dennis Johnson missing. Parish has the rebound, and we'll have a loose ball foul against the Rockets. Dennis Johnson continues to struggle from the field, even though you'd never know it by his overall game. He's shooting 39% as Robert Reed picks up his second personal foul.
That's not too good for the Rockets because they're depending on Reed to get that running game going.
Parish is playing up on top to move Hakeem away from the boards. Bird hits the shot, and Larry Bird is 2 for 2.
They do find ways to get Larry Bird open regardless of who's playing him.
2.5 minutes elapsed, opening period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here at the Summit in Houston. Game 4. Championship at stake. 7 on the shot clock. Sampson drives Ainge into a screen, and Robert Reed hits again. That's 2 baskets for Reed, and the Rockets lead by 3. Shooting, Houston nearly perfect in the early stages. McCray now is on Bird. Reed was on him just 1 play. Hakeem knocked it away from Parish. Last touch by Parish. Fine hustle by the big guy of Houston.
He's been jabbing at the ball even in the last game. Every time Parish has handled it, you'd think he'd be a little bit more alert to that.
Parish said that to you. He says Hakeem behind me kept knocking the ball away, caused some problems. Inside, Olajuwon on offense. Over McHale. Bird blocked out McCray nicely. Pass to Dennis Johnson was not a good pass, and it was nearly knocked out of bounds by the Celtics. Lloyd touched it.
It looks like the Celtics are prepared to run too. If they get caught up in the rhythm of the Rockets game, though, it's not to their benefit.
They'd rather play the half-court game and have their big guys beat Houston's big men. It was Casey Jones' idea at the stop, at the top of the series. Sampson knocks it away. 8 on the shot clock. Lloyd is on Dennis Johnson. McHale at the top. Reed now on Bird. 3-point attempt. And Olajuwon gets the rebound. He got the shot off just at the 24-second clock. And McHale slow getting up court for Boston. Feed into Olajuwon. No way to stop that.
A 5-on-4. Olajuwon with the rebound and a big run.
McHale comes right back with 2. Not much you can do there with McHale getting the ball in one motion going up. But the Rockets maintain the lead of 3. Under 8 minutes to go, first period. Lloyd. Short. He is really struggling in the series. They haven't gotten that open court game going. Dennis Johnson all the way on a layup. And now the Celtics trail by 1. Rockets pushing it up.
They are looking for long passes up the court, the Rockets.
Normally the Celtics game, Tommy.
Right, off of made baskets. That's what the Celtics like to do, but we're seeing the Rockets getting into it.
Hakeem, triple team, foul. So Hakeem will go to the line where the Rockets are shooting 68% and Olajuwon only 63. And Bill Fitch, who won his 47th playoff game the other day, and that tied him with who, Tommy, for 8th on the all-time list?
I don't know, me?
Yes, you.
Oh, wow.
Heinsohn and Fitch with 47 playoff victories.
I'll tell you, the Celtics been confusing Hakeem with a triple team. It's not a real hard triple team, but they try and cut off the lanes when he tries to spin to the basket. And they've had him shooting more fallaways than he did in the LA series.
Bird committed the foul for the Celtics. Olajuwon hits 2. He hasn't done that much in this series, hitting 2 free throws. And Lewis Lloyd committing his second personal foul. So Lloyd and Reed, the starting guards for Bill Fitch, each with 2 fouls. And it may not be long till we see Mitchell Wiggins come in.
Wiggins is really a good defender back there, far better than Lloyd.
Bird, last touch by Reed. Reed staying with Bird. What are they alternating, McCray and Reed on Bird?
I think whoever is in a position to pick him up first will pick him up.
Johnson going baseline, feeding Parish with a fine play. Dennis Johnson, and he has his first, Parish with his first points of the game. So all the Celtics have scored except for Danny Ainge.
Well, they lifted Olajuwon that time. That left Parish all alone.
Reed. Ainge on his arm, hits the jump shot. And 3 for 3 for Robert Reed, who leads the team in minutes played and assists in this series. Celtics 50%, Houston a little better. McHale driving in and a foul. That'll be one of the towers as Sampson and Olajuwon were both inside. And that'll be against Ralph Sampson.
I tell you, Olajuwon is far more active trying to block shots in this game than in the prior 3.
And a timeout called by the Houston Rockets, who lead by 3, and that's the way it's been in this first period. As many as 3 men have been on the monster Hakeem Olajuwon. Let's analyze what that defense has meant.
Celtics triple team of Hakeem is a subtle way of putting a great low post player under pressure. Hakeem has 2 favorite moves, one over the top and one along the baseline. Larry Bird's double team along the baseline eliminates the baseline. Ainge slides down and take away the other option. When the other Celtics rotate, Hakeem has only one shot, a fall-away jumper. The shot the Celtics want him to take. Hakeem needs to find Reed, and Reed needs to hit the shot or make a quick pass to a shooter on the weak side. Here we're going to see it. Bird is not in a better position to get down to the baseline, but Ainge has dropped in there to get a hand on it, and they do force him to take the fall away, but a foul on Ainge on that play.
You know, Hakeem Olajuwon has talked to his parents in Lagos, Nigeria a couple of times in the finals, and the interesting thing is that they thought the series was over after the first 2 losses in Boston. He had to explain that they weren't, and now they were happy that the Rockets are still alive, and they get 5 minutes of highlights the next day, and he said most of them are Hakeem. He says most of them are my highlights whether we win or not. So at least his folks know what they're doing, and he said at 1 o'clock after the game he'll call them in Nigeria where it'll be 7 a.m. to tell them the result of this game.
Like a good son should. Call your mother, Hakeem.
I'm sure it won't be collect on it. 1-point lead for the Houston Rockets. Houston 5-1 to foul. Celtics have committed only 1 foul, that by Bird. Lloyd is pushed, and Dennis Johnson caught. That's his first foul. Tommy, Lewis Lloyd going into the series, Casey Jones earmarked Lloyd as being one of the big targets in the series.
I think he's the better of the guards in the open court if they get into a running style on the wing. And he can take it and then take it into the paint. He's virtually unstoppable. He's got long arms, but they haven't really consistently run and gotten the ball to him.
He's averaging 8+ points, and that's down from his playoff average of 15, and he's shooting 39%, so he really has been struggling for the Rockets, who lead by 3, 6:25 to go first period. Bird guarded by Reed this time. Get it into McHale over Sampson, and Kevin McHale leads the Celtics with 7. Here's the open court man you were talking about. Lloyd pulls up, and McHale gets the rebound, and he walked with it. Took a while for McHale to get into the groove on Sunday, but wound up with 28 points to lead Boston. We're halfway through this first period. Close game. Olajuwon went up. Good defense by the Celtics. Ainge pushing it up for Boston. Reed with him. Now McRae picks up Bird. Parish against Sampson. Sampson goes up. Parish misses, and a foul. Now Olajuwon was behind, and Sampson was in front. And the foul will be against Hakeem Olajuwon, his first person.
Well, that was what Robert Parish wanted to do. Get deep into the low post as possible. And he made a nice roll move and then a fake. And there's Olajuwon coming in from behind. He was having all kinds of troubles holding on to the ball in the first quarter on Sunday.
So the Rockets have been in the penalty. The Celtics only 2 team fouls. And I guess when you pick up early fouls, as Parish did on Sunday, it gets you out of your rhythm totally.
Particularly when a team wants to use you as much as the Celtics wanted to use him.
1 out of 2 prevents the Celtics from taking the lead. We have a tie score. 5:35 on the clock. Opening period. McRae working against Parish. Bird is on Sampson. Round missing outside, only green jerseys inside, and Boston looking to take the lead. They have not led yet in this game.
Well, he drew Bird on him, and he didn't ever took him to the low post.
Dennis Johnson misses, but Kevin McHale is there. And McHale is the man of the hour with 9 points to lead the Celtics, who lead for the first time in the game, 18-16. Reed going up again. He's been perfect until now. Celtics running. They have a chance here. 4-on-2. Bird to Parish. And the Celtics running and scoring. And Bill Fitch wants to say, I've seen enough. Timeout. 4:56 to go in the first period. And the Celtics have run off 7 in a row. Celtics in a rally, leading by 4 here as you look at some of the crowd here in Houston Summit. Everyone knows about Larry Bird's competitive spirit, but yesterday he was telling me that he really regards himself also as a performer, Tommy. He says winning counts, but I'm pleased when I get letters, believe it or not, from the older people, the people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s who love the game. They could write in that they like the doctor or they like Charles Barkley. It doesn't have to be fan letters to Larry, but people who love the game of basketball. Fast break points, Boston is favored, and they've been surprisingly outrunning Houston.
I'll tell you, the Celtics will fast break when there are good opportunities, and the Rockets just not hustling back on defense enough.
That's what the Celtics had problems with in Game 3. Sampson doubled with Ainge now and goes right in between them. Ralph Sampson scoring his 4th point of the ball game, and that cuts a 7 consecutive point string by the Celtics. 4.5 to play. First period. Ainge has not scored, the only man on the floor yet to score for either team. Bird with a pick from Parish hits again. And Larry Bird with 6 points now.
But Olajuwon made a leap to block that. He's got to be a little bit more careful.
4-point lead inside. Olajuwon has his shot blocked by Parish. Loose ball. Sampson will get an easy bucket and a foul.
Here's a triple team on Olajuwon. McHale out of position a little bit. Olajuwon takes it on a spin, but there's somebody taking him on the baseline. Robert Parish. But Ralph Sampson alert as Olajuwon reaches in and just knocks it away. Lucky he didn't pick up a foul, Olajuwon.
Ainge commits the foul, and Ralph Sampson, who also has been way off in his free throw shooting, connects. And the Celtic lead cut to 1, 22-21. 4 minutes to go in the first period. Kevin McHale with 9 points and 5 rebounds, off to a much quicker start this time. Sampson is guarding him. Dennis Johnson penetrating inside, going in and scoring. Now you know why he's gone on the line more than anyone in this series.
Olajuwon faked the block and was looking for the pass, so he's trying to create a little confusion in the minds of Dennis Johnson, the penetrator.
Sampson inside against Parish, blocked inside by McHale. So the Celtics get a couple of block shots, and Dennis Johnson slipped, but McHale at the other end scores, and Kevin McHale has 11, and Boston is up by 5, and that's their biggest lead of the game.
Olajuwon and Sampson not hustling back on defense.
McRae. McHale behind, Parish in front, and Darryl Garrettson will call a foul. Bill Walton has come in the ball game for the Celtics. He was in early in Game 3, and he's played extremely well so far as Robert Parish goes out of the game, having scored 5. We're at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Celtics lead 2-1, and the Rockets trying to make that home court magic work to even it all up. McRae misses the free throw. Bill Fitch, who had as assistants when he was in Boston, Casey Jones, the head coach of the Celtics, and Jimmy Rogers, who now is an assistant for KC.
Dan McRae had a great first half on Sunday, then started throwing some bad passes in the third quarter and sat down. That's what Bill Fitch is most worried about, carelessness with the ball.
3 minutes remaining. McHale strong to the hoop. Coming out of the pack, Dennis Johnson, 6'4", playing much bigger in this series inside. Celtics by 4, looking for their biggest lead of the game. Ainge wide open. And Dennis Johnson gets another rebound. Ainge fakes Lloyd. Goes up. And Olajuwon finally tears it down, but the Celtics really made the Rockets work there.
Banging the boards, and Dennis Johnson is getting his job done.
26-22 Boston. 2:25 to go, and a Boston foul, and that'll put him in the penalty. Bill Walton in his first personal foul.
Walton, Dick, they've been trying to really move Sampson out of the sweet spot in the low post, and Walton didn't do it too well in game 3. Kind of let Sampson get where he wanted to go. That's why he picked up this foul, a little bit too physical.
Surprisingly enough, Walton has been better offensively in a lot of ways, and during the year, his strength was rebounding and defense.
Walton can score in low, but Bill Fitch says I'd rather have Walton in there at the power forward spot than McHale.
Sampson has 9 to lead the Rockets. McHale 11 leads the Celtics. Ainge guarded by McRae. Reed is on Bird. And Olajuwon falls down. But before he traveled, he got it in the hands of Sampson. And now they say that Sampson had slipped over the line, and so it'll be Celtics ball.
Here's the Twin Towers in action. Bird shot, but look at the both of them go high for the board. Walton got caught underneath, and here's Sampson with the foot. He should have just passed it up court.
Ball knocked away out of bounds. Still Celtics ball. 2:02 showing on the clock. In the rebounding department, the Celtics have had a healthy 13-8 edge on Houston. And a 3-second violation called against the Celtics. It'll be Houston ball.
Walton trying to get the good position on Olajuwon in there, just a little bit too long.
The Rockets looking to tie the game. We have had 2 ties so far. Lloyd working one-on-one against Dennis Johnson. McRae picks it up, a new clock, 1:43 in the period. Sampson finds an open McRae. Quick passing by the Rockets, and Lloyd ties it for Houston. First basket for Louis Lloyd, Tommy. He's 1 for 4. McHale on the baseline. Lost it off his foot.
Ainge calls him the black hole. Sometimes it goes in there and it gets lost, never comes back out.
Olajuwon tried to slam and missed, and Louis Lloyd gives the Rockets the lead. 2 in a row for Louis Lloyd, and it's 28-26 after the Celtics led by 5. Tipped away, McHale. And McHale ties it up for the Celtics. So in this period, each team has run off 7 consecutive points. Rockets just a moment ago before McHale's hoop. Another tie. Reed goes up and breaks the tie with that much time remaining in the opening period.
I'll tell you, Robert Reed is really into this ball game with his head. Total confidence, not worried about Danny Ainge at all.
He is 4 for 5 and certainly the most quoted player of either team in this series. Larry Bird burns the Rockets for 2. He has 8, and we have a tie at 30. Tremendous first period, Tommy, and we've had the best fast break action for both clubs we've seen in a while.
Surprising that the Celtics would get in that kind of a pace game.
Olajuwon blocked by McHale. Dennis Johnson finds Bird. Ainge. McRae the rebound. Ainge has not scored, and he's taken a lot of shots, 4 so far. And now Houston playing for the last shot to try to break the tie. Lloyd, and he doesn't get the shot off. Try to pass to Hakeem, and that is the end of the first period here in Houston in game 4 with the score. The Celtics 30 and the Rockets 30. And we'll return to the Summit in Houston after this word from your local station. This is the Houston skyline as you see it right now, and Houston has been a bustling city all talking about basketball for game 4 of the 1986 NBA Finals on CBS Sports between the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets, who surprised the Lakers in the Western Finals. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Brent Musburger is here as well, and Tommy, Brent talked about how the economy was down in Houston and the oil business down, but the Houston Rockets have really given a tremendous feeling of spirit to the fans here.
I'll tell you, they love Olajuwon. I think he brought his Houston success to the Rockets here with these fans. Sampson added something early, but Olajuwon brought his fans.
Mitchell Wiggins, who is a hero with a couple of big baskets in game number 3, has come in for the Rockets in the backcourt. Jerry Seasting in for the Celtics in the same role. Walton over Hakeem, short, and Olajuwon the rebound. I'm going to ask you about Wiggins because he'll be guarding Dennis Johnson. And Johnson did a lot in the first period for the Celtics.
He was very important, Wiggins, on defense.
McRae working against Walton, giving up several inches, but hits anyway. Rodney McRae. Now, Tommy, what did Dennis Johnson do in that first period?
He penetrated an awful lot, Dick, trying to create some leaping by the Twin Towers. He was effective doing that.
And so that's why Bill Fitch says, I got to have the defensive blanket, Mitchell Wiggins, on him. Seasting, who was acquired by the Celtics from Indiana to do just that, hits the outside shot to tie it up. Seasting has really given the Celtics a dimension they've lacked.
But not in this series, Dick, and that's why they got him in there and looking for a shot. They gave him a beautiful pick that time so he could get his shot off.
He's 6'1", undersized against the big Houston guard.
Reed can stay way off him and give him trouble.
Olajuwon double with McHale and Seasting, and Walton gets a piece of it, and they call goaltending against Bill Walton. The basket is Olajuwon's, and the Rockets regain the lead.
Seasting went down a double team that time, but not as nicely as Ainge does. Ainge cuts off the spin move.
Ainge did not score, missed his 4 shots in the first period, so Seasting in there, giving up a lot of inches to Reed. 7 to be exact. Bird guarded by McRae. Reed the rebound. Sampson. He didn't have an advantage on the break, but Sampson took it to the hoop. And there, one of those fouls that Ralph Sampson commits every now and then that gets him into a lot of trouble.
Well, in about 3 years, he'll probably forget about those type of fouls. Olajuwon has better hands than Sampson doing it, and he shouldn't be going for reach-ins in the backcourt.
Rockets by 2. Dennis Johnson working against Wiggins. Wiggins says Dennis Johnson likes to dance like Magic Johnson, and the ball danced through the hoop, and Dennis has 6 points, and the Celtics have tied it up again. 2 minutes gone by, second period. Out to Reed. Into Olajuwon. In the basket.
Excellent pass by Robert Reed, and McHale let Olajuwon post up.
Each team enjoyed a 5-point lead in the opening period. We've had 7 ties, 2 lead changes, and Bill Walton goes in, and they'll say no basket there. A foul before the shot against the Houston Rockets. And it's on Dennis Johnson.
The Rockets get you thinking that the ball is going to this side of the floor, but the pass will go all the way over there quickly. That allows Olajuwon to swing in and get great position against McHale for an easy basket. Watch what happens. There it is. Bird drops back, and McHale was trying to help out Sampson. Instead, Olajuwon slips right in, and with that great strength of his, powers it through. And I mean, powers it through, as you'll see. There he is, got McHale behind him, and the strength of Olajuwon is one of the more intimidating factors of his game for people to guard him. They don't want to get too close to him.
And no one's going to stop anyone that close, certainly not Hakeem Olajuwon as you look at the leading scorers. By the way, Dennis Johnson did not commit a foul. He will go to the line, and it was Hakeem Olajuwon himself who committed the foul. Jim Peterson has come in the ballgame replacing Ralph Sampson. Sampson goes out with 9 points and 2 fouls. So Olajuwon, Sampson, Lloyd, and Reed all with 2 fouls. Now Robert Parish is checked back in for the Celtics, and Kevin McHale with 13 points gets a rest. Dennis Johnson missing the free throw.
Anytime somebody gets a low post like that, and it was Hakeem against Kevin McHale, he's going to sit down as far as Casey Jones is concerned.
1 out of 2 for Dennis Johnson, who's the 3rd leading rebounder the Celtics have. He's gone to the line, as we said, more than anyone. So Peterson is in the ball game, as we said, main man on the bench up front, and he's done well when Sampson has gone to the bench. Not offensively, but off the board.
They don't take him too seriously. I think they're gaining a lot of respect for Peterson, the Celtics.
Reed working against Seasting. Using his 7 inches, working him. They don't post him up, though, do they, as much?
No, but Reed right now has the confidence getting the shot off of Ainge, a much bigger player. I mean, Seaston's not even going to bother him.
5 for 6 for Robert Reed, who's in double figures with 10. He's a leading scorer for Houston now. Bird out. Meeting him is McRae. Walton against Olajuwon. He got the ball in good spot.
And they moved it around beautifully so that Walton could slip in and get the good spot against Olajuwon.
So the Rockets lead is 1 with under 9 minutes to go. 8 minutes and 47 seconds exactly. Reed goes for 3 and misses. Dennis Johnson will get the Celtics running if he can. Bird. Reed went for the fake and Larry Bird went up. Loose ball. Out of bounds. Everyone's pointing as if it were a fumble in football, and Earl Strom says, it's my finger that counts. Houston ball.
Earl likes to make demonstrative statements like that.
Houston by 1. This is game 4. Rockets know they have another home game coming up Thursday night. You'll see it on CBS. Wiggins against Dennis Johnson. And Olajuwon with the follow-up.
Whoever does not block out Olajuwon, you've got to go and take him out around the foul line as far out as possible.
Bird, bounce pass from Dennis Johnson, loose ball, Wiggins. Into the hands of Walton, and that was a good hustle by Wiggins, but it backfired on the Rockets. They still lead.
You know, Parish has a tendency, if he guarding a big guy, not to block out, to go straight for the rebound.
Rodney McRae. And Walton quickly with the outlet pass to Seaston. Reed is back defensively, and so were the Rockets in general. Bird, they're trying to deny Bird the ball. You can see that with both McRae and Reed. Inside, and Dennis Johnson found the way, and 9 points for Dennis.
I tell you, Dennis Johnson is as competitive as Larry Bird. A lot of people don't recognize that, but boy, he comes to play.
He has in the big games, and he gave the Celtics the lead again at 41-40. 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go. They go to Reed against Seaston. Wiggins off the screen. Short. Olajuwon, offensive rebound. Peterson, another rebound. And that's where the Rockets did a tattoo on the glass against the Celtics.
Parish turned Peterson loose on the boards.
And the Rockets regain the lead by 1. And a Houston foul. We have had 4 lead changes. Darryl Garretson talking things over with Larry Bird, who bunked heads with Olajuwon. That foul was on Jim Peterson of the Rockets, and we'll take a timeout with 6:49 remaining. The Houston Rockets are leading the Boston Celtics 42-41 here in game 4 at the Summit. 6 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the first half.
Always, always, always block Hakeem Olajuwon off the boards. That's what Pat Riley says. Watch here. And Walton had his body on him, but you still have to keep it on him. But watch Parish turn Peterson loose. Didn't really have him locked in, and the Celtics paid the price for that.
Carol Dawson is one of the Houston Rockets assistants to Bill Fitch. The other is Rudy Tomjanovich in the dressing room right now with Pat O'Brien. Pat, why is he there?
All right, Dick, thank you. As you know, most NBA teams now are getting into the movie video business to help their halftime presentation for the third and fourth period. Rudy Tomjanovich, the assistant coach, watches the game like you do at home on television. Rudy, how do these plays help Coach Fitch for the third and fourth period preparation?
What it does is it gives Bill an opportunity at halftime to see exactly what they're doing defensively, say on a double team, who's doubling and where he's coming from. On the offensive end for the Celtics, it shows what plays are hurting us and who's not running his defensive assignment.
Right. This is not the game, folks. You're not missing the game, but you're prepared for anything in the game, right? Rebounding, everything.
Right. We'll take out about 30 things a half and be ready for anything Bill might ask for.
Right. Dick, one place where they hope all their movies have happy endings. Let's go back outside.
Thank you very much, Pat O'Brien. There's Calvin Murphy's number 23, and of course Rudy Tomjanovich 45, the two numbers that have been retired here. Tommy, did you, I guess the video craze happened after you coached. What did you do? Go with film or just the blackboard?
I was in silent movies, Dick. That's where I was.
And you did very well. Sampson is back in for the Rockets. Olajuwon goes out. Robert Parish hits on one of his patented high arcing jumpers, and he has 7 points. He had 8 the last 2 games, so Parish obviously going to score better tonight. 6:25 remaining in the first half. Celtics with that basket regain the lead. Jim Peterson missing inside. Gets the loose ball back and scores. Walton had it and lost it. And Peterson was Johnny on the spot. Dennis Johnson penetrating again, bangs some bodies, and they'll call a blocking foul against Houston. I think that was a good call. Although on the bench, Robert Reed, who will pick up his 3rd personal foul, obviously does not.
Well, you see Reed trying to protect against Parish. Now has to go out, and he moves into the path of Dennis Johnson. And it was a legitimate call against Robert Reed.
So 3 on Robert Reed, and he'll have to come out of the ball game. Crowd with boos all over as Dennis Johnson hits the free throw. And here is Alan Level, who made his biggest contribution in the series on Sunday. Reed goes out. He has scored 10.
Big point now. Seasting's size will not be a factor for the Rockets to pick on. And in fact, Seasting may have the advantage here to get his shot off. The Celtics may look to him more.
Level played 9 minutes and hit 3 of 6, including a 3-pointer. But he's been at 37% and took the protective covering off his broken wrist and really is just still getting back into the swing of things. Sampson working on Walton. Basket counts and a foul. And once again, Tommy, Ralph Sampson becomes a different guy when he plays center as opposed to forward.
What they're doing right now, Dick, is making him the #1 low post option. And the Celtics are not triple teaming him like they did Olajuwon. Bird comes over half-heartedly, but Sampson's hook was already off and on its way.
Hakeem is on the bench. He went out with 2 fouls, scored 10, and a 3-point play for Sampson. He has 12 in the ball game. Walton picked up his 2nd foul. So you're right. Level on Seasting, no advantage height there, and the Celtics lost the ball. But Level can push the ball up even better than Reed.
Much faster and lower to the ground.
And he was a veteran of that 1981 championship between these 2 teams. He and Reed open as Level. Way off. Wiggins to Peterson. Short again, and there's Wiggins following it up. Sampson crashed the board. And the Rockets control the ball.
I tell you, Wiggins really bangs the boards.
Wiggins missed it, and McHale threw it away. And that's rare for the Celtics.
Larry Bird and Casey Jones very upset about that.
And look at the offensive rebounds, and you saw a glimpse of why just a second ago. And Dennis Johnson went out for a moment, coming back in. Ralph Sampson gets another basket and draws another foul.
Once Sampson gets the ball, the double team never gets there early enough. And Sampson with his 7'4", good spin move to the baseline. The Celtics not prepared to triple team Sampson like they were Olajuwon.
McHale, who threw the ball away a moment ago, commits his 2nd foul. Seasting goes out and Dennis Johnson back in, and Ralph Sampson already having a fine game.
Bird is in the backcourt, Dick.
Bird teaming with Dennis Johnson, and a big lineup in there for Boston.
Well, Mitchell Wiggins more than likely will have to guard Larry Bird.
They can't bring Reed in because of the 3 fouls. And Bird gets an easy layup.
Low post all the way. Larry Bird against the smaller Wiggins.
So we'll see if Bird continues to take advantage. We'll see what Bill Fitch can do. Because right now his big guard is on the bench with fouls. Sampson working against Walton, who played him well. And a foul called. Walton using his body, and Ralph Sampson was fouled and will shoot.
Look at the size advantage Bird has over Wiggins. Wiggins trying to front him, but here's a good, cute move by Bird. Excellent pass from Dennis Johnson, and he's got an easy one.
3 personal fouls now on the redhead, Bill Walton, who came over from the Clippers. He and Seasting were perhaps the missing pieces in the Celtic puzzle in their desire to win a 16th world title. But Walton has 3 fouls. Big game so far for the Twin Towers. Sampson has 17 points and Hakeem has 10.
The other matchup now is McRae guarding McHale that they might try to go to.
So the Celtics all of a sudden with the big lineup have edges in a lot of places.
They're going to isolate Bird against Wiggins.
Peterson quickly doubles. The open man is Walton inside, and Walton lays it in over Sampson.
They'll have to double a lot more, the Rockets. Going to be a lot of passing by Bird when he gets doubled.
Houston lead is 3, 52-49, with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go first half. So we have seen quite a chess game out here. Size against size, trying to take advantage of mismatches. Level gets it into Sampson, who's doubled with DJ and Walton, and hits the jumper. He's more effective inside, but at least he can hit those outside shots.
I'll tell you, those Ralph Sampson detractors better close their mouths right now. Sampson playing up a storm.
Hey, he'll have his bad games, but he comes back before long. A Houston foul right here on Wiggins, his first foul. There's the doctor on the left, Julius Erving, who looks like a professor. Well, he just got a degree. And Moses Malone, who lives in Houston. And he's done a lot of work with Hakeem Olajuwon. They'll be with Brent Musburger coming up at the half. We have 3:47 remaining. Hakeem comes back in the ball game, and Wiggins goes out. So Bill Fitch now forced to go with the bigger lineup. What do you think of this arrangement?
Well, that's going to put McRae in the backcourt to again. Well, he's going with these three big guys, and McRae is going to be a guard. So Dennis Johnson's going to end up with McRae. Bird is going to probably end up playing Peterson. They've got the triple towers in there.
But who's going to guard Bird? I guess McRae will now.
He didn't want Peterson to do it. He thought Peterson might have to go to a psychiatrist if he had to guard him too long.
Ralph Sampson has scored the last 10 points for the Houston Rockets. Level. Missing, but Olajuwon is there. Turnaround. And the Rockets with another offensive rebound. They've had the edge on the Celtics. Dennis Johnson. And the Rockets are allowing the Celtics guards to penetrate a lot more than they should. Parish hits a jumper from the baseline. 4 for 4 for Robert Parish in the game. He has 9. That's more than he scored in each of the last 2 games. Olajuwon, basket, and a foul. Celtics are not defending the big powers inside well so far.
The guard is not getting down there quite fast enough to cut off that spin move to the middle. They didn't do it against Sampson, but Sampson had a big size advantage over Walton. But they've got to cut off Olajuwon's spin move to the middle if they hope to stop him at all.
Danny Ainge committing the foul. And the Rockets, who have not been shooting well, but tonight have missed just 2 free throws, lead by 3 with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. Peterson now on Bird. McHale going up. Parish. And Robert Parish coming out with inspired play. He has not missed a shot in 5 tries, and the Rocket lead is sliced to 1. Olajuwon draws another foul. This is the kind of play Robert Parish has given the Celtics tonight.
Well, Robert Parish can get mad. Right now, Kevin McHale is mad. Here's McHale, a little off balance. Parish in good position, times it perfectly. Up fakes, lifts them all, and then nicely in the hoop.
And McHale was upset, Tommy, because he's just picked up his 3rd personal. The Rockets lead the Celtics by 1 here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Halftime coming up shortly. Let's go up to Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Dick, thank you. We'll have all the late-breaking sports news at the half, but the key, of course, will be the heart and soul of the Philadelphia 76ers. Moses Malone and the Dr. Julius Erving. Moses, what do you see down there defensively here in the first half?
Well, the first thing I see that, the Rockets rushing the ball down. They pushing the ball, trying to get Boston in foul trouble. They're playing very solid defense in both ways. But the big men are working on Boston big men to get them in foul trouble, so that'll be difficult for the second half.
Doc, how about the Celtic offense so far?
Well, what I see the main key is Dennis Johnson's penetration. He's able to go to the hoop, and if guys come to help out, the other guys are getting involved by tap-ins and stuff like that, offensive rebounding. Then, of course, Larry's outside shooting game is really on.
All right, so we're going to hear from Moses and the Doc at the half. Right now, let's go back to Dick and Tommy.
Thank you very much, Brent. The Celtics, Tommy, are shooting 61% for the game, trailed by 1. So they're shooting very well, and Larry Bird has 12 points He is the second leading scorer to Kevin McHale's 13. Ralph Sampson, with a terrific first half, has 19 points.
I tell you, Ralph Sampson has been banging the boards, been getting much better low post position in this game than in any of the other games, and he's been extremely difficult.
And it dropped through. The players with 3 fouls in the game. Reed had to come out, and he got off to a fine start, scoring 10 points, 8 in the first period. Olajuwon and Sampson both doing much better from the free throw line. They have 33 points between them, with Houston's total of 58. 2:25 remaining in the half. Wiggins guarding Dennis Johnson. Parish moving outside, so is McHale. They want to open up the middle. Bird working against McRae now. Works his way in and gets the basket. The basket counts. Rockets were wary not to be called for goaltending.
But the Rockets making the Celtics work the clock down and shoot shots under pressure of the clock going off.
Under 2 minutes to go, and Sampson and McHale are bodying each other inside. Ainge leaving Level open. Level is free right now. Gets it into to Sampson, and Sampson, developing a nifty hook of his own, has 21 points, 12 here in the second period.
Now McHale with 3 fouls is guarding Sampson.
Turnover, Wiggins to Level. Looking for the trailer. McRae going in all the way and gets the basket. And the Rockets lead by 5. A spurt here late in the second period. And Level reaching in gets called for the foul.
I'm going to see a beautiful bench here on the last basket. Fast break basketball means lots of enthusiasm from the bench.
That Jim Peterson, he lost all his teeth playing hockey now when he was a kid, just as McHale did.
All I saw was waiters. He never got up off the bench, though.
Here's Greg Kite coming into the ball game. The Houston native, frustrated in game 3. He had 5 personals called on him in 7 minutes. Replaces McHale, who has scored 13, and he has 3 fouls, as Ainge, with the free throws, brings the Celtics to within 3.
Well, you know Greg Kite is not going to give up low post position.
No, he's not. He won't give up high or low post position. Olajuwon. Sampson on the rebound. Doesn't go, and Bird clears. Pushing it up. Dennis Johnson down the right side. Left open, and Dennis Johnson hits. He has 13 points in the game.
I tell you, he has been a big story here in this first half.
Level going in and throws it over the backboard. He tried to draw a foul.
That's his problem. He goes up in the air before he truly has an idea what he's going to do.
You know, Tommy, I said to him, do you think you play out of control? And he says, look it up, my assist to turnover ratio. And you know what? He has the best assist to turnover ratio of all the Houston Rockets. I say, thank you very much. By the way, he has 5 assists this period off the bench. And this action in the NBA Finals will continue. Game 5 will be Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, here at the Summit. The Celtics and the Rockets. But that has always been his reputation, Alan Level, has been to play a little bit out of control. The offensive rebounds. Look at that, this period alone, Tom.
Well, you know what's happening is Ralph Sampson has become much more aggressive down here in Houston, banging the board, particularly from the weak side. I think the Celtics are so concentrating on Olajuwon to keep him off that they forget about Ralph Sampson, and he's making them pay the price.
He sure is. 50 seconds remaining, and Sampson, who answered his critics with 24 points and 22 rebounds, far and away the leading scorer in this game with 21. Celtics looking to regain the lead with 40 seconds to go. Parish looking for the ball against Hakeem. And traveling called against Robert Parish. Parish has hit well in this game. He had 38% from the field going in, but he has 11 points. Sampson against Kite and Ainge. Level is open. And Alan Level hitting outside. That's his first basket.
That was well within his range.
And the Celtics have the rest of the period to set up the last shot that will try to bring him to within 1. That's the time. Shot clock is off. With no more than a 5-point difference in this game. Out of bounds, and the Celtics with 5 seconds to go. Parish. Turnaround, and he's got it with 1 second to go. Wiggins can't do a thing, and that is the end of the first half here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. No lead bigger than 5, and Bill Fitch's Houston Rockets have a very slim and precarious 1-point lead at the half. Brent coming up. Back here at halftime, the Houston Rockets lead the Boston Celtics 64-63. Take a look at a couple of telling statistics. The Boston Celtics shot 63% to Houston's 46, and the Celtics are trailing in the ball game by 1 point. The front court is 20 for 27 for Boston. Now look at the turnovers. Houston has protected the ball very well. They've taken 13 more shots, and the Celtics have not scored any points as a result of the turnovers by the Houston Rockets. And Tommy, I'd have to say that the pace, which has been for both clubs running, means what?
I think Boston is reluctant to play more people, and the pace of the game could have a telling effect in the second half. Definitely in the favor of the Rockets.
How have the Rockets gotten the Twin Towers really unleashed so that the two of them can do damage in one game?
Well, they're not just going to the real first low post option all the time. They're going to both of them and mixing it up.
All right, Pat O'Brien is with Bill Fitch right now. Let's go to him, Pat.
Thank you, Dick. Coach Fitch is smiling this time. You have to be happy with your inside low post play with Sampson.
Well, I'm happy with some things, and I'm unhappy with others. So unless I inherited $1 million while I was in there, I'm not any happier now than I was when the game started.
Coach, what about going into the third period? That is an unhappy time in this series for you. How did you prepare for that?
Well, we had a voodoo person in there working some magic, and we just got to go out and play basketball. You know that.
All right, Coach. Thank you. Coach Fitch, in a good mood. Let's go back to Dick.
Some voodoo, yeah. All right, here are the third period Blues, and you'll notice, Tommy, that the Rockets have been held under 20 points in the third quarter in all 3 games.
I think what they have done is try to come out of the locker room and set too high a pace too quickly, and they've gotten a lot of turnovers in that, particularly on Sunday. I think Fitch will have guarded them against doing that. Come out, work into the pace of the game a little bit.
Again, with the Twin Towers, and we can't minimize the fact that the two of them are playing so well. Sampson with 21, Olajuwon with 14, 13 rebounds between them. They're doing the job perhaps for the first time together as you look at the leading scorers of the game. Will that continue? What can Boston do there?
I think right now Bill Fitch is confusing the Celtics defense as to which Twin Tower is going to get the ball. And you don't confuse Boston too frequently.
Larry Bird has 14 points on 6 for 10 and 4 rebounds. And we want to remind you that we have had a tremendous first half of basketball. Game 5 of this fine series will continue Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern on CBS here at the Summit between the Celtics and the Rockets. And so there's Bill Fitch, no longer with the voodoo, talking about strategy. And once again, the turnovers, the Celtics have not scored off of Houston turnovers so far.
Well, the telling statistic, Dick, is that the Rockets have taken 54 shots to Boston's 41. So you need to shoot 60-odd% just to hang in the ball game. Boston needs a lot more offensive rebounds. They're not blocking out effectively against the big guys of the Rockets on their own defensive ball.
The rebounding is even at 23 in apiece, but Houston leads 12-7 in offensive rebounds. Do you think Casey Jones will try to make sure that the pace is slowed into the half-court style now?
Well, I think he was kind of happy that they got some fast break opportunities. But the Celtics have only really been playing 7 guys in this series, and Jerry Seasting is not a real big plus for them so far.
Mitchell Wiggins is going to start in place of Lewis Lloyd, who began the game at guard along with Robert Reed. Wiggins is 0 for 5, but he's in there primarily for defense against Dennis Johnson. Underway here in the third period. Olajuwon is on Parish. McCray on Ainge. Bird left open for the moment, and Larry Bird hits, and he has 16 points.
And he has played an awful lot of minutes in this series, with Wedman being injured with the broken ribs.
He's averaged 44 minutes, more than anyone on either side. Played all 24 in the first half, and Mitchell Wiggins finally breaks out of the drought and hits the basket, and Houston up by 1.
Wiggins starting here in this second half means they're really going to try to play defense.
McHale missing on top, and Wiggins. He's one of the best rebounding guards we've seen in the league. Reed. Wiggins goes to Sampson. Double team, McCray open. Pass to Olajuwon. Celtics usually make those kind of passes result in a quick 2. Robert Reed, long range, no good, and Ainge gets the rebound. He'll be picked up by Robert Reed. Ainge hits his first shot. He struggled with only 2 points. That's his first basket of the ball game.
He's going to try and get Reed to play a little defense on him.
Why not? Dennis Johnson on Wiggins. Olajuwon, watched by McHale. Bird coming over to double. Olajuwon throws it away to Ainge. Reed with 3 fouls. Can't do much with Danny Ainge. Doesn't want to pick up the 4th. And Ainge scores, and the Celtics lead by 3.
Well, there's those turnovers again. They're making the double teams work, the Celtics, and then stepping in as they're trying to make the pass to the weak side.
That was the first time the Celtics have scored on a Houston turnover in the game. Reed misses his second shot from outside. That's what got the Rockets off in the last 2 games. His outside shooting. McHale feeding Parish. Gets his own rebound. Blocked away, and a Houston foul after Sampson batted the ball away. And now they say it is goaltending called against the Rockets. Credit the basket to Parish, and there's a foul as well.
I'll tell you, Robert Parish really has got these guys faking out when he comes up with a rebound.
And that's the 3rd personal foul on Hakeem Olajuwon. We'll be back. And the fans came prepared here at the Summit in Houston, Texas. You know, the last time they were in the championship round was in '81 when they lost to the Celtics in 6. A lot of lean years, but now the Twin Towers have brought the spirit of basketball back to Houston. And Robert Reed, who's a very popular performer, the Twin Towers, and a young club that beat the Lakers and now find themselves in the NBA Finals. That's what they've done. They've won 2 division championships, and they love them in Houston. But right now, Tommy Heinsohn, the Celtics have outscored the Rockets 8-3 starting out the 3rd period, which of course has been the trademark for the Celtics, and the Rockets turning the ball over not in the running game but in the half-court game.
Well, Bill Fitch better go back and get that witch doctor, because the voodoo didn't work. They try to pace the game down and not try to do too many things too quickly. That half-court game, their heads not picking out the right open man.
Robert Parish now with 16 points and 6 rebounds. He is 7 for 8 from the field, so he has responded decisively after 2 games in which he scored only 8. 72-66 in favor of the Celtics, who have outscored the Rockets 9-3 now in this period. Reed with a baseline jumper is good. The Celtics had scored 7 straight points after the Rockets led by 1.
But they're being forced more to their half-court game, and I think Bill Fitch would like ultimately.
And of course, before the basket by Reed, the Celtics had opened the lead to 6, which was the biggest lead either team has enjoyed. Winding down, the 3 minutes gone by in this 3rd period. They're all over Bird. Parish having a red-hot night. Gets it off in time as the buzzer sounds. Ainge keeping Reed in the backcourt to stop the Rockets' break. Wiggins off the screen, and Mitchell Wiggins, who is ice cold early, has hit 2 shots now, and it's a 72-70 game.
He's playing into the system better than Lloyd has been doing in this series. Mitchell Wiggins coming off picks a lot better.
And you saw the pick and roll with Ainge and McHale give the Celtics the 4-point lead again. McCray baseline finds Wiggins inside. You know, we know about his defense. If he can get hot offensively, he'll be a big boost to the Rockets. Ainge outside, red hot in this period is Danny Ainge. He has scored 6 of his 8 here in the 3rd. Back and forth they go. Fast-paced action here in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Robert Reed missing, and there's Hakeem, who goes up and misses the shot. There's Sampson fighting inside, blocked by Parish. The crowd thought there should have been a foul by Larry Bird, and now an offensive foul has been called against the Celtics. Crowd thought Bird had grabbed Hakeem's arm in one way, and now Danny Ainge has just picked up his third foul.
You're going to see Bird come in there, and a beautiful block by Parish. Timed it nicely, and here comes Ainge on the fly.
He was called for the charge. Now that we've had a half-court game now with the Rockets, trailing by 4. Sampson missing over Parish, out of bounds. Celtics ball. We're at the Summit in Houston, Texas. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Celtics lead the Rockets by 4. Celtics lead in the series 2-1.
Celtics giving the ball to Ainge a lot more to bring it up to stop that Wiggins defense of delaying in the backcourt.
McHale on a pass from Bird. Slammed into the crowd by Ralph Sampson.
Sampson got beat on that play, but that's a heck of a adjustment. A block out of bounds.
McHale working against the team. And a 24-second clock elapsed, and the Celtics couldn't get a shot off. And a furrowed brow for Casey Jones. There's the block shot story, and coming in, Olajuwon had 7 to lead the Rockets. McHale led with 6. And now a Celtic foul. Let's watch Ralph Sampson.
You watch Bird looking inside as McHale beats Sampson easily. But if you make a mistake, that's a nice way to rectify it with a block like that.
Well, the ideal, of course, is to block it in the hands of one of your own guys, but why take any chances? Rodney McRae goes up and the ball teeters on the rim before coming off. That last foul on the Celtics was on Dennis Johnson, by the way. Boston by 4. They trailed by 1 at the half. First period was all tied up. Double on McHale. Dennis Johnson loses the ball. Robert Reed made that play. He got back to Dennis Johnson in a hurry. McRae against Bird. Wiggins now. Taking a time. Bird knocked it away from Sampson. Wiggins going up. Stuffed in by Hakeem Olajuwon, who has 16 now.
Damn, Mitchell Wiggins has put life into this Rocket team here in the third quarter. Great penetration and court awareness.
McHale against Sampson. Blocked by Hakeem. Goaltending. Give the points to Kevin McHale. You know, you talk about Mitchell Wiggins, Tommy. He grew up in North Carolina, not far from Michael Jordan, but he played a lot as a youngster with Dominique Wilkins. It came down from Baltimore to play when they were youngsters with Mitchell Wiggins.
Well, a little of that jumping ability of Dominique's rubbed off on Mitchell, I'll tell you that. He can leap.
Into Hakeem against McHale. A spin, a block. McHale won that battle easily.
Beautiful defense by McHale.
And now they're going to call an offensive foul on Danny Ainge. Those fouls can go either way. Mitchell Wiggins had position, or did he not?
He has quick feet, Mitchell Wiggins. Ainge is trying to create pace and a little penetration. There's Wiggins, established, feet in place, the charge on Ainge.
And Danny Ainge has 4 personal fouls.
I will tell you right now, the Houston Rockets have their heads into the game, their feet, and Danny Ainge picking up his 4th foul is a real plus for the Rockets, as Seasting will be guarded by Wiggins, and there's another height advantage that and a very tough man for Seasting to have to defend, because, well, he's going to stay with Reed. So
well, that's an
tough
advantage
too
for Houston, because they've got the 7-inch height advantage. Ainge going out with 4 fouls, 2 of them offensive fouls here in the period. Sampson goes up, misses a hook shot. Wiggins fighting for the loose ball. He has and appears to be the big spark plug now for the Rockets.
Dennis Johnson is not blocking him out as effectively as he had in prior games. He's lost his concentration a little bit on Wiggins.
23rd pick in '83 by Indiana was quickly traded to Chicago. That was the year the Rockets picked up Sampson #1 and McRae #3 in the draft. Bird doubled with Wiggins and Reed, leaving Dennis Johnson open in the corner, and DJ hits and the Celtics lead by 6, matching their biggest lead of the game.
Well, that's what they do so well, Boston. They slow you down and execute their half-court offense.
Rockets have hit only 1 of their last 10 shots, so they're in the scoring drought with 4 minutes and 46 to go, and the turnover there. Bird got it away to Seasting, pulls up with a jumper, and now the Celtics have opened it up to 8 points.
Well, I'll tell you how smart Seasting is. He knew Reed had the 3 fouls. He went right at him and wasn't afraid at all to take that shot.
Seasting was with Indiana last year as a starter, loves his role coming off the bench with the Celtics. He wants to win a title. Reed hits a big jumper for the Rockets, and it's 82-76, 14 for Robert Reed.
Well, he is hitting that outside shot. The Celtics are gambling that Robert Reed is not going to kill them and win the game with his outside shooting, but they may be gambling too much.
But right now, it appears that the third period is a charm once again for the Celtics, who are down by 1 at the half, led by as much as 8 here, with 4 minutes to go, are up by 6. Seasting puts it up again, and Parish comes out and swoops and gets the rebound. Quiet crowd here at the Summit. Celtics have taken a lot of the enthusiasm out for the moment. Hakeem causing Parish problems. 8 on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson, long range, and Olajuwon the rebound.
Good defense that time by the Rockets. Forced the poor shot by the Celtics.
Trying to cut it to 4. Sampson against McHale. Does just that. 23 for Ralph.
Okay, McHale is giving up good position to Sampson in a low post. That's good hook shot range for Sampson.
4-point game. Illegal defense now called against the Rockets. That's the first one called in the game. Bill Fitch is saying to Earl Strom, who? 15. And it was Mitchell Wiggins, I believe, who was caught in no man's land. Second time it'll be a technical foul. That was a warning. 3:12 remaining, third period. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn. Game 4, Celtics lead 2-1. Obviously a very important one. Larry Bird said if we win this game, we'll win the series. His running jumper missing. Olajuwon cleared. Try to cut it to 2, Tom.
McRae was right on Bird's shooting hand.
13 rebounds for Olajuwon. Reed feeds McRae, and it's a 2-point game.
What judgment by Robert Reed that time to stay on the floor and make that pass.
6 points in a row by the Houston Rockets. Parish is fouled by Olajuwon, and that'll be his 4th.
That play there, Dick, is what Robert Parish was telling me about yesterday. Olajuwon banging from behind, trying to steal the ball. A very poor move that wasn't called in the last game. You're going to see the 24-second shot clock at the top right of your screen. But watch how effectively the Rockets deny all kinds of passing angles, particularly down into the low post. I mean, they have to play a lot of defense for a long time, but they are taking away the options of the Celtics offense, and they end up with shots like this, one-on-one, which is not the way Casey Jones likes his team to play.
Meanwhile, Hakeem Olajuwon has picked up his 4th personal foul. And when Hakeem went out in game 2 in foul trouble, the Celtics broke open the game. Jim Peterson now, who played 7 minutes in the first half, had 3 rebounds and hit 2 of 4 shots, now has a big responsibility.
Well, Sampson will be in the low post. I would assume that Robert Parish will defend him. He is the best of all the people, in my opinion, on the Celtics for denying Sampson the good low post position.
Sampson has 23 points in the ball game. So after struggling in the first 2 in Boston, has had 2 rousing affairs, but this is where they'll need him. Celtics with the ball and a 2-point lead. 2:15 remaining in the third period. Peterson all over McHale. Parish with a long turnaround shot. That goes out, and Peterson gets another rebound. Big one for Houston. Make it tie. Houston has scored 6 straight points. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Reed with 5 seconds on the clock. Tries to go in against Seasting, and a foul is called against the Celtics. That's only their second team foul of the period, but it was in the act of shooting.
Seasting knows that Reed is going to try and burn him. He's getting his hands a lot more active going for the ball. And that's the way Seasting's going to have to play Robert Reed. Up close and in his jersey.
Robert Reed has been perfect from the free throw line in this series, 8 for 8.
I'll tell you, he's done a lot of talking, but he sure backed it up these last 2 games in Houston.
Most quoted, perhaps the most cooperative Rocket around. Misses his first free throw, but the Rockets' Jim Peterson is alert.
A coach will go absolutely crazy to lose a rebound off a free throw like that.
1:35 remaining in the third period, and now the Rockets are looking to take the lead again. They had trailed by 8 a few moments ago. Well, they've come back in this third period, and Ralph Sampson missing. Bird gets it out to Seasting. Watch Parish run the court, and Robert Parish goes up and gets the layup. And he's running not like a 32-year-old, but a spry 22.
Well, Robert saves himself, but when he sees an opening, he can turn it on.
1:09 to go in the third. Parish with 18 points. He led game 1 scoring with 23 for the Celtics. 3-point Boston lead. There's Reed for 2. And it's a 1-point game once more. Under a minute to play in the third.
Sampson picking up the double teams a lot better than Olajuwon has in this series.
Dennis Johnson guarded by Mitchell Wiggins. Johnson has only 2 points with Wiggins on in this period, and Robert Parish continues to have the hot hand. He leads the Celtics with 20 points. 38 seconds to go. Boston by 3. McRae off a pick. Mitchell Wiggins. Not that time, and Larry Bird gets the rebound. Dennis Johnson is tired. He's taking his time coming up court. Peterson gets the rebound. That's what Wiggins has done working in this half. 86-83 in favor of Boston, and the Rockets can play for the final seconds here in the last shot. Seasting working against Reed. Pass to McRae. Great layup by McRae with a couple of guys on him. 1 second to go, and that'll do it. So the Celtics had an 8-point lead, and the Rockets came back. And that is the end of the third period with the score. The Celtics 86, the Rockets 85. We'll return to the Summit in Houston, Texas after this word from your local station. After 3 periods at the Summit, the Rockets trail the Celtics 86-85. It has been tight throughout, Tommy. Does one team have an edge at this point in your view?
Well, the pace was very upbeat in the first half, and Boston has not used an awful lot of people, and if they get forced to their outside shot, that's when your legs start to go, and it could be showing up in the latter stages of the fourth quarter.
Keep in mind that the Houston Rockets have outscored the Celtics in every game in the fourth period of the first 3 games, a reversal of what the Celtics have done to them in the third period. But let's take a recap of this game. Kevin McHale at 13 points. In the first period, we were tied at 30. And then Ralph Sampson came alive with 12. He's had a fine game. The Rockets led by 1 at the half. And then Mitchell Wiggins, a spark plug. The Celtics had an 8-point lead. Parish leads Boston with 20. He'll be starting the fourth period with Bill Walton and Larry Bird, Seasting and Johnson in the backcourt. McRae, Wiggins, Sampson, Peterson, and Reed for Houston. McRae has his shot knocked away into the hands of Walton. Wiggins quickly picks it up. Reed for 3. And the buzzer sounded, but he got the shot off. Peterson scrambling with Dennis Johnson into the hands of McRae. Going strong to the hoop, and the Rockets have regained the lead by 1.
I'll tell you, give credit to Jim Peterson that time. That was pure hustle.
And we knew he would have to make a contribution when Olajuwon went out with 4 fouls. And the Rockets have not crumbled. They've hung in there with Hakeem on the bench. Bird going up. And you know he's going to be heard from. He scored only 2 points in the third period. He's got 18 in the game, Tom.
Celtics must control the boards right now, and the Rockets are starting to dominate in that department.
Reed, long range missing. There's that man Peterson again. 8 rebounds for Jim Peterson, who has been averaging 5 a game. Sampson missing a hook. Here's Wiggins and Peterson, the spark plugs now for the Rockets.
What a smart rebound to Mitchell Wiggins. He's catching Dennis Johnson, losing his concentration.
88-87, the Celtics lead. Larry Bird trying to play that free safety defense. Not guard any particular man, just guard the middle. Peterson shot drops. Houston leads by 1. Look at that story. The Celtics have not done the job defensive rebounding in this game.
And it's been guys like Peterson and Wiggins from the weak side. That's where the Celtics are losing their concentration.
Walton going up with a shot over Sampson, and that was savvy and experience. And the Celtics regain the lead, and we have had 14 lead changes in this affair. 2-1 lead in the series for Boston. We have a kick ball and a new 24-second clock for the Rockets, and we'll have an officials timeout. That's the kind of game you'd expect in a game 4 of an NBA Finals. The Celtics lead by 1, 9:53 to go in the fourth, and you remember that Rudy Tomjanovich is one of the numbers retired. The other, number 23, he's with Pat O'Brien right now. Patrick?
All right, Dick, thank you. Talk about Spud Webb. This is the original little man in the NBA. Calvin, what do you see that you like tonight? Analyze the game so far for your former team.
Well, we're getting a point per possession of the ball, which is very good. We've got to keep them from their transitional game, make them face us 5-on-5, and the board work is excellent. We're getting the second effort, which is a key to us sustaining this game.
What do they have to do now, Calvin, to win this game and maybe win the series?
Well, number one, we've got to spread the floor and spread the wealth around. Everybody's got to contribute. If we can stay close, go down low towards the end of the game, Ralph and Hakeem will take over.
Can they win the series quickly?
Yes, they can. This is no fluke. These youngsters out here are good. If Boston's not careful, we can sneak up on them and take a championship away.
Thank you. Calvin Murphy. Let's go back to Dick.
And quite a baton twirler, Mr. Calvin Murphy.
I'll tell you, he had speed. He'd come at you, and the guy could be 4 inches bigger, 6 inches bigger. He'd have you backing up, and off that jump shot would go. Calvin Murphy. I think he learned that from the baton twirler, too.
Celtics lead by 1. Ralph Sampson is only 1 for 6 this half. He has 23 points to lead all scorers, though. Working against Robert Parish right now, leaving Robert Reed open. Fumbled the pass, hits the shot. 19 points for Robert Reed.
Well, if you're going to double Ralph Sampson right now, they have isolated Reed on the weak side. He's going to have all the time in the world to get the shot off against Seasting. Even if he makes a quick rush.
A little more than 2.5 minutes elapsed, fourth period. Rockets by 1, loose ball. Bird kept Sampson away. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson for 3, and a big basket at the 24-second buzzer by Dennis Johnson to give the Celtics a 2-point lead. McRae inside to Sampson, working against both Bird and Walton, and he scored against those 2 tough bodies.
I think he may have walked on that one. He got away with one.
Everyone does sooner or later, right? We're tied at 93. The Celtics haven't missed. Houston is 50% shooting this fourth period. 8 minutes and 43 seconds on the clock. We're tied. We have 8 ties in this game. Peterson trying to move Parish away from the spot he likes to shoot from. Bird in the corner, Seasting for 3, and he missed. And he shot it at the 24-second.
Good defense by the Rockets once again. They were under the gun just to get a shot, the Celtics.
Cross court to Wiggins. Reed for the jumper. Peterson misses the tip, and Bird gets the rebound. Peterson got inside. Seasting pulls up with a jump shot. And McRae knocks it into the hands of Parish. Parish. 22 for Robert Parish. He's averaged 13 in this series.
Well, this might be the time for Danny Ainge. He's on the floor, getting ready to come back in the game.
So is McHale for Boston, and also Hakeem Olajuwon getting ready to come in for the Rockets. 22nd timeout called by Houston. Ralph Sampson is shaken up a bit. Ainge comes in for Seasting. We'll watch for the pass into McHale, who's now setting a pick for Dennis Johnson, but Wiggins fights through. DJ turnaround with 5 on the clock, and the Celtics break the tie again. Loose ball, Dennis Johnson on the turnover. Rockets are back. And smart Dennis Johnson knows better, and he'll set it up.
They've got 3 big guys, the Celtics, now to search out the best matchup. They're trying to go to McHale.
They go to McHale. And Hakeem knocks the pass away into the hands of Reed, and a foul against Dennis Johnson. 6:56 remaining in the best of the NBA Finals of this series. It's a big night for sports in Houston. Game 4 of the NBA Finals, and a tight game with the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets. And in the Astrodome, we showed you the scenes in there before. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Astros 3-1. Greg Matthews, a 4-hitter, his first major league victory in his debut. Jack Clark, a 2-run homer in the 4th inning, the difference. Cardinals over the Astros.
Bird back in the lineup for the Celtics to go to last 6:54.
He doesn't need much of a breather. With no more than a 2-point difference in this period, Reed lost the ball to Ainge, and the Celtics with a 2-point lead in the ball. McRae guarding Larry Bird. Looking for Parish. Olajuwon playing with 4 fouls. Isolation, 1-on-1 against McRae. Bird goes up, and McRae played him well, just as Larry Bird said yesterday that he does. Used his body. Rockets looking to tie. Trying to create the 10th tie of this game. Nearly halfway through this final period. Hakeem doubled with Ainge. Quick passing. Mitchell Wiggins short. Gets his own rebound, and Bird is there, and let's see if the basket counts. No hoop. The basket does not count. The foul, Bird. But it was again Mitchell Wiggins sneaking in against the big guys, getting a rebound.
I'll tell you, as soon as that shot was released, Wiggins knew it was going to be short, and he went strong.
Jim Peterson goes out of the ball game. He has scored. He has scored in the ball game. 6 points, 9 rebounds, 7 of them off the offensive play.
Well, that is devastating to allow Peterson to get 7 offensive rebounds. He earned every one, however. And this kid here, Mitchell Wiggins, and look at those rebounds. I'll bet you 6 of the 7 are offensive rebounds.
And Wiggins ties the game with 6:01 to go. Ralph Sampson back in there, and so the Towers are in together in a tie game with 5:55 to go. Wiggins on Dennis Johnson, McRae on Bird. Rockets have played tight defense down the stretch last game and against the Lakers. Here's a turnover. Houston looking to regain the lead.
And it's the same problem the Celtics had the last game, coming down the stretch, turnovers.
Sampson's ball doesn't go. Parish and Wiggins and Olajuwon all there, and we will have a foul against the Houston Rockets, loose ball foul. And that'll be against Wiggins, his second. Tommy, if it comes down to the end, timeout-wise, the Rockets have only 2 timeouts left. The Celtics have 4 full timeouts, plus a 20.
Let's see how well the Celtics execute their half-court. You see Danny Ainge bring it up quickly so they can get more options into their half-court offense.
And they're going to call Wiggins with a foul. A little overzealous there was Mitchell Wiggins. And he has done a job on Dennis Johnson. And Bill Fitch decided to go with Wiggins early when Lewis Lloyd wasn't working out. Casey Jones has tried Larry Bird in the backcourt for a couple of instances in this
I'll tell you, Casey Jones made a nice move by putting Bird down on the bench for that couple of minutes to try and get his legs together for the outside shooting down the stretch.
Robert Reed has picked up his 4th personal foul. And that'll be the 4th team foul against Houston.
They're being very aggressive now, the Rockets. They're going for steals.
Bird. Missing. And a foul against the Rockets. Now they have 3, and now this will be the 4th. Now they change it. Earl Strom has called the foul against Kevin McHale. He pointed to the Houston side, but that's where it occurred. So McHale picks up his 4th foul, and there's the story. We're tied at 97. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here at the Summit. Game 4. Will the Rockets even the series, or does Boston go up 3-1? Hakeem, fall away, gives the Rockets the lead.
What a shot that was, under total control. Olajuwon.
18 for Hakeem. Against Sampson, McHale with that long reach, and McHale with 19 points. But he had 13 after 1 period. Hakeem doubled quickly by Bird. Finds a way and scores. That was just amazing quickness.
How he got through that double, I'll never know. There were 2 big guys right around him. He split through it.
101-99. Houston, McRae banging at the ball against Bird. Gets it to Parish. Parish, short. And the Rocket defense is as good as we've seen it in 2 series now. Under 4 minutes remaining. And the Rockets with a 2-point lead and the ball. Olajuwon doubled again. Turnaround. And this time Larry Bird swoops in for the boards, his 8th of the game. Celtics looking to tie it. Parish with a fake and a shot. Out of bounds. Darryl Garrettson says Houston ball. You think the Celtics ever expected a struggle like this, Tommy?
No, I don't. I'll tell you, the Rockets are for real, and Mitchell Wiggins and Peterson have provided the superior bench support so far between the 2 ball clubs.
And they're for real whether they win or lose this game. Reed. And Sampson. Wiggins. We all lose out to Larry Bird, and Dennis Johnson on the break goes up and is fouled. No basket there, and the foul will send Dennis Johnson to the free throw line. Bill Walton has checked back in for the Celtics, replacing Robert Parish, who goes out. He has led the Green with 22.
He may be a little tired. He's been doing a lot of rebounding work. Let's see if they can control the boards without Parish being in there.
McRae committed a foul, and here's Dennis Johnson. He can tie the game, and will be looking for his 22nd point, which would tie Parish for the Celtic lead.
They've been using the Rockets effectively in the low post game by going to Sampson. They're getting it to Olajuwon. He may be affected more by double teams than Sampson.
That's the time. We have a tie, our 12th tie of the game at 101. Celtics won the first 2 games handily in Boston. Rockets won a close one Sunday to get back into it. Looking to tie in another close game. Wiggins missing, and the rebound by Walton. A big defensive rebound by Bill Walton.
Great block out that time by Walton to pick up that rebound.
And now the Celtics will call a timeout. 2:39 remaining in a tie game. The Houston Rockets, undefeated at home in the playoffs at 8-0, are banking on the home court after losing the first 2 handily in Boston Garden. But Tommy, with the score tied, 2:39 to go, tell me what you think the scenario could be for each team.
Well, Bird is their go-to guy for the Celtics. And I think the last ball game, Bill Fitz's defense confused Bird a little bit. They faked double teams. They made him eat up the clock and then take a shot, which perhaps wasn't the best shot that he would have liked to have gotten. Up the other end of the court, the Rockets have 2 options to go to right now in the low post. They've elected to go to Olajuwon a lot. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sampson get the ball a little bit more at this stage of the game because he handles the double teams better.
What do you think the game will come down to?
I think really who executes their half-court offense better. But watch out, Sampson broke the game open with a big rebound the other day and a quick outlet pass to get a fast break opportunity going for the Rockets.
There's the timeout story, and you mentioned Larry Bird, who has only 4 points this half. But this half isn't over. 2:38 remaining and a tie score. 12 ties and 16 lead changes tonight. Walton, who's been there before. Bird for three, hits, and the Celtics lead by 3, and who else but Larry Bird to get the big basket.
They sent 2 cutters through. That left Bird out on top before anybody could get to him. He's got his outside shooting legs in form.
Sampson low. They try to double him. McHale gets a piece of it. Ralph with 8 seconds to go. Reed for 3, misses. Tipped up and in by Rodney McRae. And it's 1-point lead for the Celtics with under 2 minutes to play. Big tip in by McRae.
Very important possession here.
McHale, ball knocked away by Sampson. Johnson controls, 10 on the shot clock. Johnson against Wiggins, going in strong. Walton gets the rebound and gets the basket. Bill Walton may have gotten the most important basket after a rebound since he joined the Celtics this year.
What a play by Walton. That was the same type of determination that Peterson showed for the Rockets.
Walton 5 for 5. He is shooting sensationally this series. Reed gets it in low to Hakeem. Double and triple team, fighting through. Loose ball, Ainge winds up with it. And the Celtics with 1:17 to go lead by 3. Wiggins trying to make Dennis Johnson work hard to bring it across the line. They have 11 on the shot clock. McRae against Bird. Loses the ball. McRae made it happen. Terrific defense on Bird. But the Rockets trail by 3. Under a minute to go. Once again, we've come down to the final seconds. McHale knocks the ball away from Hakeem and a big steal. Kevin McHale with a defensive play to match McRae's at the other end. 40 seconds to go.
Well, Celtics think at this particular point they don't want to run the clock too far down so they can't get a good shot. They still need to get a good shot.
Bird for 3, misses. Sampson the rebound, 26 seconds to go, and a timeout called by the Rockets. Bill Fitch sees what you see, a 3-point Boston lead and that much time remaining. Tommy, would Bill Fitch go for the 3 right now with 25 seconds to go?
Well, he showed that he was willing to do that in the LA series when he got the ball to Robert Reed. He has great faith in Reed hitting the 3-point play. Although Bill Fitch likes to foul up people, I'm sure he thinks Casey Jones might remember that. So he might go inside to Olajuwon or Sampson in particular, tell him to go strong to the hoop and hope to get the 3-point play off a foul shot and a made basket.
Now there's Robert Reed, but Alan Level is checked into the ball game, and Alan Level is an outstanding 3-point shooter for the Rockets, and so if it goes that way, Level could be one of the candidates. There is Level, who today has scored 2 points. He replaces Rodney McRae. Reed will inbound, and right now the big play of the game outside of Larry Bird's 3-point play, Bill Walton's rebound and basket.
And it's not always easy to inbound the ball.
That's one of the first cardinal rules that Bill Fitch deals with. They double-teamed Level. Sampson up high. Lost the ball. Dennis Johnson to Danny Ainge. To Bird, 9 seconds to go, and unless they turn it over, the Celtics will have taken a commanding lead. Walton, and that'll do it. The Celtics, with a big victory, deserve their celebration on the floor. This is a game the Celtics wanted, and according to Larry Bird, he thinks it's over. And he hit the 3-point shot to break the 101 tie. And then the next big play was Bill Walton.
Came right over our desk for the rebound. Should have told him the game was over. But I'll tell you, the Rockets, the Celtics played the Rockets for the 3-point play. That's how they came away with the steal.
And the Boston Celtics win 106-103. Robert Parish, Danny Ainge said, that's the one we wanted, and they got it. It's 3-1, and let's go upstairs to Brent Musburger. Brent?
All right, Dick, thank you. I'm with Moses Malone and the Dr. Julius Irving. Moses, what did you think about the ending of that game?
Great game, great game. You know, both teams played hard. Both teams had a lot of desire to win this game. But unfortunately, Boston got it. You know, they came here to get 1 or 2, and they got the middle one, so now they're looking forward to try to get the 1 Thursday. But it'll be a tough contest Thursday. I think the Rockets are going to come back and work hard, try to get the next one.
Doc, anybody from Philadelphia says unfortunately when Boston wins. But tell me what you thought about Bill Walton's big play down the stretch.
Well, I'll tell you, you can't say enough about it. It was an errant shot. He picked it up off the side of the glass and just laid it back in. So that was certainly one of the big plays. But I look at Houston's blown opportunities as the key to them losing. When they had a 2-point lead, they came down 3 successive times and were not able to score. And then it seemed as though they tried to milk the 2-point lead, which gave Boston an opportunity to come back and go on to victory.
Moses, what about the defensive work of Kevin McHale? He made a couple of big plays.
Oh, he did a great job, Hakeem. You know, what he did, once Hakeem got the ball, he just back, play off him, let Hakeem make his move, then he went to block the shot. He did a great job tonight.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. And we're going to be continuing from the summit. The Boston Celtics are just 1 win away from their 16th NBA championship. We'll return. He won a championship in 1977. He's knocking on the door again. Let's go to Pat O'Brien with Bill Walton.
All right, Brent, thank you. Bill, were you surprised going into the game with 3 minutes left in the ball game?
Well, I was very surprised with particularly with the way I'd played earlier in the game. I really couldn't get a rebound. I had no feeling for rebounds. My man was getting all the offensive rebounds, and but Casey went to me. Robert got tired. Robert played a great game all the way through, but he got real tired. I was sort of surprised to get the call, but I was ready, and boy, it sure feels great to win that one.
Tell me this, are you a little excited here?
I'm real excited.
What about being
real close? We're getting real close. 1 to go.
And it's been a long time, 9 years for you before you had a ring.
Boy, this is a tremendous feeling. We worked really hard tonight. It was a great ball game. Sampson had a tremendous first half. He was red hot, and they kept coming back, and Bird hit the big three-pointer at the end to sort of give us the cushion we needed, and then our defense at the end on the last play got us a steal, and our ball movement killed the clock. It was great.
All right, let's go back. Congratulations, Bill. Let's go back up to Brent Musburger. Bye.
All right, Pat, thank you. Let's take a look at the box score for the Celtics tonight. Parish, Johnson, and Bird all over 20 points, and Walton off the bench contributes 10, and of course that huge offensive rebound. Meanwhile, Houston was held to 2 points in the last 4 minutes, and the 2 games down here in Houston have revolved around teams not being able to do anything in the last couple of minutes. It was the Celtics on Sunday. Tonight it was the Rockets, and now Boston 1 game away from banner number 16. They'll try to get it here Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be the Celtics going for still another title. So I'm Brent Musburger saying so long from the summit in Houston, Texas. It was 106-103.